I talk a lot about Ursa Timber being a green business and that we are making lumber from reclaimed logs and storing the carbon that would otherwise go into the atmosphere if it were burned or chipped. So I thought there could be some sort of resonant dissonance between practice and values. That being that we're saving logs, but we're using diesel equipment to recover the logs and then using gas-powered engines to mill them into lumber and then dry them in a kiln, which uses electricity. So I thought I'd weigh it all out using carbon calculators and things like that and see how net positive or negative we were with our carbon footprint. Let's imagine there's a beautiful black walnut tree that is next to a house. The tree is gorgeous, but it drops walnuts on the house, the cars, people's heads, and the branches are showing decay, and it's become a hazard, a widowmaker, if you will. The tree has to come down, period. Let's say that this tree is 26 inches diameter at breast height and it bifurcates at about 12 feet from the ground and has two main stems that extend about 20 feet where the canopy starts branching off. We've teamed up with a local arborist and agree that we will take any logs over 12-inch diameter, and they will be responsible for chipping the brush either to haul away for something like Chip Drop, an app where people can request that arborists doing work in the area dump their wood chips at their home for mulching, gardening, compost, and such. Or sometimes the homeowners like to keep the chips for garden paths or any of the things I just mentioned. We take the tree in sections that make sense and end up with a total load of about 4,500 to 5,200 pounds. The density of fresh-cut green walnut is about 55 pounds per cubic foot. For easy math, let's estimate this load at 5,000 pounds. Half of that green weight is moisture, which does not contain carbon, so dry weight is around 2,500 pounds. Of that weight, roughly 50% is carbon. So in this load, we have around 1,250 pounds of carbon. When that carbon oxidizes either through burning or decomposition, it combines with oxygen to form CO2. Using the molecular weight conversion factor of 3.67, that 1,250 pounds of carbon represents about 4,587 pounds of CO2. Say that was a 30-mile round trip in our 1995 International 4900 boom truck. I've tracked better mileage than this in this truck, but for argument's sake, let's say it gets about 6.5 miles per gallon. That equates to around 4.6 gallons of diesel. We ran the crane for about an hour. That used another gallon of diesel. For recovery of this log back to the mill, we used about 5.6 gallons of diesel. Diesel burns about 22 pounds of CO2 per gallon, making our carbon footprint about 123.2 pounds of CO2. Back at the mill, this load would take us about 8 hours of milling, which equates to around 5 gallons of gas, with the impact of 20 pounds of CO2 per gallon of gas. So that equals another 100 pounds of CO2. We used a gallon of diesel in our wheel loader Artie to load and unload logs, so another 22 pounds of CO2 for a total of 245.2 pounds of CO2 used in recovery and milling. If we stopped there and air dried everything, did not send it to the kiln, we would be net positive 4,342.3 pounds of CO2 kept sequestered in the lumber versus releasing it back into the atmosphere. So to answer the question, is Ursa Timber sequestering carbon on a meaningful scale? Yeah, I think that we are making an impactful contribution to carbon sequestration in the form of CO2 stored in the lumber that we're making from reclaimed logs. To put it in perspective, a typical American car getting 25 miles per gallon that drives 6,000 miles would burn the same amount of CO2. That's pretty cool.